Now, this video of how my day went yesterday is way better than the fair. Because my two oldest kids at home right now had to change dentist because they've aged out of their pediatric dentist. So we have been looking around for a dentist for quite some time now. And we found one that we wanted to try out, and man, what an experience that was. So we get to this dentist and, you know, get checked in and everything. We're sitting in the waiting room, and there's this little tiny boy in the waiting room with his, what I assume is his parents. Tiny, probably 2, maybe 3 at most, 20, maybe 22 pound little boy. And he's a hyper little boy, very cute little boy. And so the whole time he's Rambo's just playing, wanting to play, you know, one of those kids that just likes to play and get into things and is curious, wants to know what everything is. He's having a little, wants to play with stuff his dad doesn't want him to play with. So I found these little men, I handed them to him. It's like, oh, look, buddy, you know, play with this, it's fun. Well, there's 2 rooms connected in the waiting room with this big opening. So if you're sitting on the one side of the room and the people in the other room are sitting on the same side, you can't see them. So they moved to where I couldn't see them. And this little boy just keeps crying and crying and crying. And I keep hearing the mom say, you don't have to whip him for everything he does. She says it over and over and over. And then she says, let him go, you're hurting him. Over and over and over. And my daughter gets up and looks, and the mom is crying, right? The mom's crying, the little boy's crying. And constantly she's, leave him alone, let him go. You know, you're hurting him, stop hitting him. So I'm fuming at this point. I do not like that. I love kids. I've always been the person to take kids in when they need somewhere to go. I've said that before. You know, I absolutely love children. Every kid should have a childhood. That's just how I feel. So the whole time this guy, you know, you can tell he's a bitch from the second you see him. You can tell this girl, her body language, she turns her body away from him. So you can tell she's probably not treated very well either. I pay attention to people. So after I can't take it anymore, I'm fuming, I'm pacing the floor. I go up to the front desk, I smack the counter. Because I know these women at the front counter hear this woman. And I'm like, if you don't do something about this man hurting his child and being mean to his child, I am. So the woman's like, okay, I'm okay, let me see what I can do, right? See what you can do, you know? So I walk back, I'm pacing the floor, and immediately they call this little boy back to the dentist. When they do, you know, of course, I'm in the waiting room, and I'm like, this guy's a bitch, you know, loud enough where he can hear me, because I really do not care, give 0 fucks. And the whole time, you know, the mom is saying whatever. He's like, I'll be waiting in the truck. Of course, I'm like, of course you will, you know. So he walks out, the mom takes the little boy back there. The boy's already traumatized. He's 2, 3 years old, so he cries the whole time he's back there. They come out, you know, oh, hey, you know, talking to the mom, never say anything. So I'm just waiting on my son. My daughter's already out, waiting on my son to come out. And usually when your kids are done at the dentist, it's usually, you know, females are hygienists. Usually they're the one that comes out and talks to you, right? No, not me. The dentist, the man, comes out and talks to me. So he's like, hey, just want to tell you what happened with your son, Corey. This is what happened, and this is what needs to be done. And kind of starts telling me about his life. Like, I was in the military. I'm ex-military. I did this in the military, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there like, just stop already. I know where this is going, right? So he's like, so is everything okay? And I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I told your staff that little boy was being abused out here. And he's like, no, you told them that the dad was being mean to him. And I'm sorry. sorry. I'm ex-military. I agree with corporal punishment. I have no problem with a parent popping their child or spanking their child. I said, okay, but this was my first visit here. The lady across from me was very uncomfortable to the point where she moved her children away from him. Her little boys were saying that that man's mean, and I doubt either one of us will ever come back. The whole situation was not good out here, and the mother was crying as well, so I doubt it was just that he was being mean to his child. And I said, you guys are mandated reporters, so if someone comes to your counter and says, hey, this man is being mean and hurting his child, it is your job to report it. He makes light of the whole situation, and I'm so mad at this point. I'm like, look, just tell me about my son so I can get the fuck out of here, because you guys are useless. You guys are useless. A little boy is being abused in your waiting room and no one here seems to care. So, from my last video, I do not blame kids for the way they are. We are failing them as a society. Kids used to be put on a pedestal. Neighbors knew all the kids in the neighborhood. If they seen something going on with the kids, neighbors would run to help the kid. Now people turn the other way because nobody wants to say anything. Nobody wants to get involved. I'm sorry, if I see somebody hurting a kid, I'm speaking up. I'm speaking up. If you don't like it, then fuck you. Don't hurt your fucking kid around me, because I'm going to open my mouth every time. And everybody needs to be that way. That's why kids are the way they are. And if you don't like the way kids are, then change the way you are and start stepping up for kids.